guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dynasty George here, and as promised, I'm going to be posting once a week. And for today's video, I'm going to start a segment called Testimony Tuesday. For today's testimony, I'm going to tell you guys how God sent me to Italy.
And let us run with endurance the race that is set before us.
So this testimony starts at the beginning of my junior year. I started this book called Things to Do Before Jesus Comes, and it's basically a bucket list of all the things that I want to do. It's actually signed by Oscar de la Renta. I met him before he passed during New York Fashion Week and asked him to sign it for me, so it's very special to me. And number 4, the 4th thing I wrote was go to Italy. So it's crazy because a week after I wrote it, I went on a class trip, and one of the teachers was telling me that there was going to be an opportunity for a group of girls to study fashion design in Italy for a month after graduation. And the minute she said that, I just felt like, oh my gosh, Lord, like I just wrote this in my bucket list journal. This has to be something that's from you. I was so excited, and I was like, okay, let's do it. So I ended up getting a part-time job junior year to like start saving up money for it, and once a week we started doing Italian classes after school, and then by senior year I had like absolutely not enough money for it. We had to pay for our tuition for the program, our stay, and our flight ticket. And at the time I had a sister that was in college, and my mom was just kind of telling me like, Miha, we can't really do it this year, maybe next year, or maybe when you go to FIT, because FIT has a study abroad program, and that was the college I was interested in going to. So yeah, it was kind of like in all defense, it was just kind of like a no. So it's crazy because even though it seemed like it wasn't gonna happen for me, and kind of like no one really believed it was gonna happen, I feel like God just gave me this immense faith in Him. It's honestly so crazy that at the time, even though at all corners it seemed like the answer was gonna be no, like I had no money for it, my mom couldn't pay for it, no one else in my family really could pay for it. And just generally, no one in my family has ever really been to Europe, you know, like no one's really traveled out the country. Before that, I think I traveled out the country only once, and I was to go to DR, and I was to visit my grandparents. So like, it wasn't even like no one else could like fathom going to Europe. No one else could fathom like leaving the country to go somewhere. So it was like a really big step of faith that I was taking. And jumping to senior year, I was senior class president, and I went to the school called the High School of Fashion Industries, which is a CTE school. And when you go to a school that teaches you a trade, people from the city have to come and kind of evaluate the school and make sure the school is progressing and stuff like that. And because I was senior class president at the time, they asked me to be involved in the meeting and just kind of like talk to the people and explain the school and what we do, and you know how lovely it is. And it's crazy because when I was there, it's like a light bulb came over my head, and I realized, wow, I'm in a room full of people that have money. Why not just talk about the program and talk about what we're trying to do and talk about scholarship opportunities? And it's crazy because the entire time I was doing it, I was looking at this one person. I was kind of like directing towards him, like, hey, you look like you have money. Like, let me kind of like direct my petition to you. And everyone was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And you know, no one really like paid too much mind to it. And then after the meeting, this random guy I didn't even notice was in the meeting came up and he gave me his card. I'm so interested in the Italy trip and what you guys want to do. Like, here's my card, email me. And I was like, okay, thanks, you know? I was so excited. So I emailed him my petition and everything. And it's crazy because honestly speaking, I was kind of just emailing for a scholarship for me because I couldn't afford it. And he ended up blessing every single girl that was still in the program with a scholarship for the tuition. So the scholarship ended up covering everyone's tuition to go. So I was like, oh my God, that's a blessing. And then like we got the scholarship, everyone got their tuition paid off, like green light, let's go. So then there was other expenses. We had to think of the flight ticket. And the flight ticket to Italy at the time, I think it was like almost $1,000. It was literally the deadline for the flight ticket, and you know, I was trying to find ways to pay for it. And I honestly really just couldn't afford it. And I ended up like just texting my teacher. I told her, I was like, hey, like I really can't, I can't afford the flight ticket. I'm so sorry. Like I thought maybe God used me just to bless the other girls. Like maybe my purpose was just to give them the blessing, because a lot of them were able to afford the flight ticket. Like, they didn't have an issue with that. So I was like, you know what, maybe God just used me as a middleman just to bless them, you know? And that night, I will never forget, she texted me and she said, his name was Mr. Johnson, the guy that gave us that blessed us with the scholarship for the tuition. And she ended up texting me saying that Mr. Johnson said that I must have an angel over me because the board wants to pay for my flight ticket too. I was like, oh my gosh, I was jumping and screaming in my house. I like ran to my mom. I was like, Mommy, they're paying for my flight ticket. Oh my gosh. And she said, just give him your passport information, everything, and it was paid for. Like so mind blowing. I was like, wow, God, you are so real. Like, and it's in those. This is not even a little thing. I was gonna say it's in the little things, but it was just even in that, like, wow, like, God, you like literally paid for my flight ticket. Like, my flight ticket was paid, my tuition was paid for. Nothing came out of my pocket, right? Get this. So now it's graduation, and I had like such a Lizzie McGuire moment. Graduation, I got to say my graduation speech, and you know, I was leaving to Italy in like 2 days right after graduation. It's crazy because I still had to pay for my stay, and like I said, I had so much faith because we're leaving in 2 days and my stay was not paid for. So at this point, I'm like, if God blessed me with the scholarship for the tuition, if God blessed me with the flight ticket, God's gonna bless me and cover my stay. So anyway, so it's graduation. I'm having this McGuire moment. I say my speech. People are crying. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go and leave to Italy in 2 days, and I did not pay for my stay. What am I gonna do? After graduation, he goes, okay guys, let's all take a picture. We take a picture on the stage after graduation, and then he comes up to me and says, well, he comes up to all of us and he says, who still hasn't paid their stay? Me and like 2 other girls raised their hand, and he said, okay, we're gonna pay for your stay too. Like, what? And I remember telling my sister goes, I knew it. Like I knew that was gonna happen to you, because how can God like bless you with all this and not pay for your stay? And just everything was covered for, every single cent, everything was paid for. And I was like 18, on my way to Italy, and it was like the best time in my life. And I wanted to start Testimony Tuesday with that testimony because I think that this was something that happened that kind of just totally shifted, like, not shifted my view in God, but shifted something in me, you know? Like, I learned how to trust in God. I learned how to have unshakable faith, and whenever I doubt God or there's different situations that happen in my life, I always remember this. I always remember how God literally paid my way to go to Italy to study fashion illustration for a month. You know, like, that doesn't happen to anyone. That doesn't happen every day. And it helps me reminiscing on it and talking about it just reminds me that we serve a good God, and we serve a God that is faithful, and we serve a God that provides for us and that listens to us, you know? We just have to have the faith. We just have to have faith, honestly. Like, when you think of the New Testament, you think of every time Jesus was going to heal someone, it always says he saw their faith. So I think faith is just what moves the hand of God, and faith is just so important. So I'm just so happy. Like, I'm so happy to share this testimony with you. Some advice I would tell people, honestly, start writing your goals down and writing your dreams down. Like, I pray, I tell God, like, I want my life to be an adventure, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to travel and do things, you know? And I think that going to Italy that one time ignited me to just travel and do so many different things, because it was something I never imagined or thought was possible, because my parents don't travel, like, my family doesn't travel like that, and to be that person, or just to like break that cycle of just staying in one place and branching off, like, it just, I don't know, it just changed me so much, and it made me more confident too. Like, I was literally Lizzie McGuire. I was like this awkward, clumsy girl, and like, I'm not as clumsy anymore, but I'm still a little clumsy. But it just helped me come into my own. I think it was the perfect coming of age trip and coming of age experience that I needed. And I actually ended up studying in Italy again with FIT for a semester, an entire semester, and I loved it again. Like, so amazing. So yeah, that's my testimony today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. If you like this and you want me to like say more testimonies and do this every week, I would love to. Just let me know in the comments. If you were edified by this, I would love for you guys to tell me. If you guys want to follow my personal Instagram, it's Stay Gold Dynasty. If you want to follow my business Instagram, it is Dynasty George, and there I just show my designs. I do Women's Crush Wednesday, where like I always talk about different women of the faith. I really empower Christian women and empower girls and people in general in their faith. And yes, so amen. Thank you guys for watching. Okay.
Yo, you have a gift. You have a gift.
Stop!